There is a particular kind of morning when I still do not know what to do next. A decision I cannot make yet. A situation I have prayed about more than once, with no clear sign of when either one will finally make sense. There is a tiredness that comes with it too. The kind that has nothing to do with sleep. The tiredness of standing at the edge of a day with no clear next step while everyone around me assumes I have it figured out. But not knowing your next step does not mean you have failed, and it does not mean your faith is too small. It simply means today has not finished unfolding yet. I do not have to see the whole road ahead of me before I take the next step, and I do not have to understand God's whole plan before I trust Him with it. I already have that trust in my hand, like a key. I simply have not been shown yet which door it opens. If you are carrying that same overthinking this morning, this prayer is for you. Heavenly Father, I come to you this morning with open hands instead of clenched ones. I am not bringing you a version of myself who already has this figured out. I am bringing you the real one, still learning to trust you before the picture is clear. This is the prayer I want to bring you this morning, honestly, one request at a time, starting with the parts I usually rush past without giving them the attention they deserve. Father, you already know the overthinking I carry into this prayer. You know the nights I lie awake replaying the same question until I lose count, and the mornings I answer someone out loud while a very different prayer is running underneath it. Lord, I do not know what you are doing right now, and I need you to be enough anyway. Your word says in Proverbs 3:5-6 to trust in you with all my heart and lean not on my own understanding, but in all my ways acknowledge you, so you will direct my path. Job lost nearly everything and still said in Job 23:10 that you knew the way he took, even though he himself did not. Abraham obeyed when you called him to go in Hebrews 11:8, and he went not even knowing where he was going. That is the kind of trust I want to bring you this morning, Father, the kind that walks by faith and not by sight, as 2 Corinthians 5:7 says. This kind of trust is not blind faith. It does not mean pretending I understand something I do not. It means choosing to believe your character even when I cannot yet see your plan. Those are two different things, Father, and only one of them is required of me today. I do not want to carry this overthinking a moment longer than I have to. So I stop turning it over in my own head, and I bring it instead to you, the one it was always meant for. Not knowing my next step does not mean I have failed you, and it does not mean my faith is too small. It simply means today has not finished unfolding yet, and I am choosing to trust you with the parts still ahead of me. James 1:5 says that if I lack wisdom, I only need to ask, and you give generously without making me feel foolish. So I am asking. I do not need the next 6 months explained. I need enough light for the step right in front of me, the decision I keep circling, the conversation I keep avoiding. Give me enough clarity to move, even one step at a time. Before I reach for my phone this morning, I choose to reach for you first. That order matters more than I usually give it credit for. When I bring you my first thoughts instead of my last ones, the rest of the day starts from steadier ground. You are bigger than the confusion I carry today. You are bigger than the financial pressure that keeps circling back into my thoughts, bigger than the tension in a relationship I do not yet know how to repair, bigger than the health concerns I carry for the people I love. None of it is too complicated for you to hold. Someone reading this is carrying a job that ended too soon, or a paycheck that never quite covers what is needed. Father, I bring that honestly. I am not asking to be made wealthy overnight, I am asking you to open a door to work that provides and to steady what feels unsteady in a bank account before the month runs out of days. Isaiah 40:31 says, "Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary, and walk and not faint." I need that kind of strength today, not a loud kind, just enough to get through the ordinary hours in front of me. Someone else nearby is carrying a relationship that has grown quiet, a parent and a child who no longer speak the way they used to, a friendship that has gone still, a family member they love but do not know how to reach. Father, go into that silence. You know what caused it, even the parts no one has said out loud. Soften what has hardened. Open a door back toward each other. There is also the everyday weight of simply not knowing if I am doing enough, at work, in my home, in my own walk with you. I compare myself to people who seem to have it together, and I forget that they are only showing me a highlight reel, not the whole story. Father, free me from that comparison. Let me measure today only against what you are actually asking of me. There is a third kind of weight too, one without a clear label, the steady hum of simply not knowing what comes next. Maybe it is a health question, still waiting on an answer, or nothing you could name at all, just an uneasy week. Father, you do not need me to name it perfectly. You already know exactly what it is. James 4:8 says, "If I draw near to you, you will draw near to me." So this morning, in the middle of not knowing much else for certain, I draw near. I do not need a perfect prayer to do that. I only need to show up honestly, the way I am doing right now. I praise you for the breakthrough I cannot see yet, the way I would thank a friend for a gift before I unwrap it, because I already trust the hands it is coming from. I praise you for the door that has not opened yet, for the answer that has not arrived yet, and for the way you made a path before, long before I asked you to. You hold the highest mountain steady. You know the number of hairs on my head. If your hands are large enough to hold what I cannot measure, they are large enough to hold what feels small and specific to me. A bank account, a broken conversation, a diagnosis I do not know the ending to yet. Nothing I bring you is too small to matter, and nothing is too large to carry. Thank you for everything that did not happen while I slept. I did not wake up to news I was not ready for. I did not wake up in the middle of the worst version of today. I woke up here, uncertain about plenty, but still standing, still given one more day to bring this to you, instead of carrying it alone. Psalm 32:8 says, "You will instruct me and teach me in the way I should go, and guide me with your eye." That is gentler than I expect guidance to feel. Not a spotlight thrown across the whole road. A steady gaze, close enough to guide me one step at a time. Abraham walked toward a promise with no map, and that same steady guidance rested on him the whole way. God did not stop watching him just because he could not see where it was leading. He has not stopped watching me either. Guidance rarely arrives as a loud, unmistakable sign. More often, it looks like a quiet nudge toward the next right thing, the phone call I have been putting off, the honest conversation I have been avoiding. Give me the humility to trust guidance that small. I am also asking for a peace that does not wait for the fog to lift first. I have spent too many mornings waiting for peace to arrive, only after the situation resolves. So I am asking for the steadier kind, the peace that lets me function and love the people in front of me, without every open question closed first. Philippians 4:6-7 says, "I do not have to be anxious about anything. I bring every worry to you in prayer, with thanksgiving and your peace, the kind that is beyond my own understanding, guards my heart and my mind. I want that guard over my heart today, especially in the hours when worry tries to speak the loudest. Not knowing what comes next has never once changed who I am to you. I am not loved less on a confusing morning than on a clear one. A child does not stop belonging to a parent just because they cannot see where the car is headed. They trust the one driving, and that is enough to let them rest instead of gripping the door handle. I want to be that kind of child this morning. So, Father, I lay down the burden of needing to understand everything before I trust you with it. I lay down the fear that uncertainty means I have been left out of the plan. I pick up the same trust Job held, the same faith Abraham carried. I am not asking you for the whole map. I am asking you to keep being faithful to the step I am standing on right now. I do not need to hold the key and the door at the same time. Holding the key is my part. Opening the door in your timing is yours. I keep trying to do both, and it is exhausting me. Today I release the door back to you, and I keep my hand only on the part that was always mine to hold. Waiting is its own kind of obedience. It does not feel like doing anything, but it is often exactly what faith looks like from the outside. I choose to wait well today, without complaining, without rushing ahead of you, trusting that the waiting itself is not wasted time. Nehemiah 8:10 says, "The joy of the Lord is my strength, not my circumstances, not my certainty, but your joy given freely, regardless of how today turns out." I want to draw on that strength today, even in the middle of not knowing, because joy was never meant to wait for a fully resolved situation before it is allowed to show up. I also want to surrender the pressure to get this day perfectly right. I do not need a flawless morning to be a faithful one. A faithful morning simply looks like turning toward you honestly, again and again. Every time I notice I have drifted back into trying to carry this alone. I bring you the nights too, Father, the ones when my mind will not stop turning over the same unanswered question. Quiet that noise in me. Let me set a worry down at the end of a day, instead of carrying it into the next one. You are just as awake at 3 a.m. as you are right now. I do not want to believe you are only near the big, obvious parts of my life. I want to believe you are just as near the smaller uncertainties too. The unanswered text message, the appointment I am dreading. None of it is too small for the same hands already holding everything else here. Father, I also want to trust your timing the way I am learning to trust your plan. I have caught myself measuring how long something is taking, as though I were keeping the clock. Teach me to hold the waiting loosely. What feels delayed to me is not delayed to you. I bring you the ordinary weight of simply having to choose again, without the comfort of certainty, picking up a phone I have been avoiding, saying yes to something I am nervous about. Give me quiet courage that does not wait for every fear to disappear first. Let me walk into today the way Abraham walked out of everything familiar, uncertain of the destination, but certain of the one who called him. Small, ordinary courage counts just as much as the dramatic kind. Answering one hard email counts. Making one honest phone call counts. Getting out of bed on a heavy morning counts. I do not need a giant leap of faith today. I need one small, obedient step. I also bring you the people I love who are carrying their own version of this uncertainty right now, even the ones who have not said so out loud. Meet them where they are this morning, too. Let them feel, even briefly and even quietly, that they are not walking whatever they are facing entirely on their own. Trust is not something I master once and never revisit. It is something I choose again tomorrow and the day after that, the same way I am choosing it right now. Each time I choose it in a small moment, it becomes a little more natural the next time a bigger moment asks the same thing of me. And let this trust show up in ordinary ways today, Father, in the tone of my voice, in the patience I have with someone who is struggling too, in the calm I carry into a room instead of yesterday's anxiety. Let someone feel a little steadier simply because I was near them. Thank you, too, for the small things I usually rush past this morning. This quiet moment before the day gets loud. A body that still gets out of bed on hard mornings. A cup of coffee going cold while I pray instead of hurrying past it. I do not want to skip over these small mercies today. Father, thank you for not requiring me to have this all resolved before you will still call me faithful. Faithful today simply looks like showing up here, honest about what I do not know, and still choosing to trust the one who does. So this is what I choose to stand on and declare, before the noise of today has a chance to speak louder than what I am choosing to believe right now, in this quiet moment before everything else begins. I am not lost. I am led. I do not have to see the whole road to trust the one who already knows every mile of it. I am not alone in this uncertainty, and I am not the first person to stand exactly where I am standing, wondering how a single day is supposed to make sense of everything still unresolved. I am held, even in the parts of my life that have not yet been explained to me, and I am learning that being held was always enough, even before being shown the whole plan. I am not defined by the questions I still cannot answer. I am not the sum of every uncertain decision waiting on the other side of this week. I am not required to have it all figured out before I am allowed to call myself faithful. And I am not the first person of faith to walk forward without a map, because Abraham did the same long before I needed his example to lean on. I am someone loved in the middle of not knowing, guided one step at a time by a God who already sees the end of the road. I have only just begun walking, and that is enough to stand on, even if it is not everything I once thought I needed. I do not have to borrow tomorrow's uncertainty to make today feel heavy enough to justify how tired I am. Today already has enough of its own. I am allowed to set tomorrow down, unopened, and simply meet the hours actually in front of me, one honest step at a time, held rather than hurried. I am not required to have today fully planned before I am allowed to move through it. I am not behind, even if it feels that way some mornings. I am exactly where I am supposed to be, at exactly this point in a story that has not finished being told yet. And I am trusting the one who is writing it more than I trust my own guess at how it should go. I am not weak for needing this reminder more than once. Even strong faith needs to be spoken out loud sometimes, especially on the mornings when it does not feel particularly strong. So I will say it again, plainly, until I believe it all the way down. I am not lost. I am led. I am not the only one who has ever stood at the edge of a day like this, unsure and still choosing to show up anyway. Others have stood exactly here before me, and they were carried through it, one honest step at a time, the same way I am asking to be carried through today, right now. And I choose to praise before the answer arrives, not after, because waiting for certainty first would mean I only ever thank God for what I can already see. I praise you now, Father, while the road is still unclear, because the praise was never meant to depend on how much of the plan I have been shown. It depends on who I already know you to be, and that has not changed, no matter how long this particular morning of not knowing happens to last. I think of that key again, the one I said I was already holding at the very start of this prayer, and I want to close by remembering what it actually opens. It was never a door to certainty. It was a door to trust, one that swings open the moment I stop waiting to understand everything and simply choose to walk forward anyway, holding on to the promise that the one who set this path in motion already knows exactly where it leads, even on the days when I do not. May whatever door you have been standing in front of, uncertain and waiting, begin to open in its own time, not because you finally understood the plan behind it, but because you chose to trust the one who has held it all along. And on the days when the door still has not opened, when the answer still has not come, and the road still has not made itself clear, may you find that the same hand holding the key is also the hand holding you, steady enough to lean on for exactly as long as this stretch of uncertainty happens to last. May you walk out of this prayer a little lighter than you walked into it, not because every question has been answered, but because you remembered, at least for this morning, that you were never meant to carry the answer alone in the first place. I do not need to carry the weight of the whole year today. I only need enough trust for today, the same way there was only ever enough light for one step at a time on the darkest road Scripture ever describes. Tomorrow can ask for its own trust when it gets here. This morning, this one, is the only one I actually have to walk through, and I am choosing to walk through it held rather than braced. There is nothing weak about needing to be shown one step at a time instead of the whole staircase at once. Even the strongest faith I have ever read about in Scripture was made of people who kept walking long before they were shown where the road ended, trusting a voice instead of a map. That is the kind of faith I am choosing this morning, quietly, without needing it to look impressive to anyone watching, simply because it is the only kind that actually gets a person through an unclear day. I do not need every answer today, Loy, I only need you, and today, that is enough. When I do not know what to do, I still know who to ask, and that is the only certainty this morning actually requires of me. This prayer was never meant to end the uncertainty. It was meant to help me carry it differently, with open hands instead of clenched ones, trusting the one who already sees the end of the road I have only just begun walking, one honest, uncertain step at a time. So if the road ahead of you is still dark this morning, let this be the one thing you carry out of this prayer and into the rest of your day. The door does not have to be visible yet, for the key in your hand to already be real. We were never meant to carry seasons like this one entirely alone, the ones where the next step still feels unclear and the questions outnumber the answers given so far. If this prayer met you exactly where you are today, I would love for you to leave one simple line below before you go. Something like, I trust the next step, not because it will look impressive to anyone scrolling past it, but because someone else reading these comments a few minutes from now may need to see they are not the only ones still walking without a map. Send this to the one person you know is standing in their own version of this uncertainty right now, the friend who has been quietly asking the same unanswered questions you have. And if prayers like this one are ones you want to keep returning to, stay close and subscribe, so we can keep choosing this same trust together, one uncertain step at a time, until the road ahead finally starts to make a little more sense than it does today.